And both players now ready for action. So let's count them down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And no time like the present to get to know our players. We will start on the left with Cobra. Got the chance to see Cobra in person in Milwaukee about a week or so ago. 'Twas a wonderful time. And we'll probably get to see them again at CTWC. Speaking of, Cobra took 44th at CTWC in 2024 and 7th at CTWC in 2025, looking to improve on that for 2026. But he's also competed at Lone Star, CTWC in Stillwater, Boston, Space City. Cobra has done a handful of tournaments here and there. He's also a fan of other NES games like Super Mario 1 and 3, Dragon Warrior Randomizer, Osu, Standard, and Taiko. I have seen those Dragon Warrior Randomizer runs on occasion on Cobra's stream. That's some pretty cool stuff. Check it out if you got a moment. But right now, we're going to check out Cobra getting out of this little dig he's put himself into. Trying to get this brought down. And just gets the right pieces at the right times. The well is open. The long bar needs to come out. It's a 30-something piece drought here. It's been going on for a hot minute. Where the heck is the long bar? Hydrant's wondering the same thing. Where is that long bar? And it's going to show up 37 pieces later. My goodness. But about 35-ish lines in. 133,000 for Cobra. 76,000 for Hydrant Dude. And now Hydrant Dude, the one with a less than ideal board setup here. We'll just take some burns and bring it down. But that's going to allow Cobra, whose board is clean, to start adding on to this lead. It's about a 4 Tetris advantage, still relatively early in game number 1. We're about 50 or so lines in, but Cobra slightly ahead in the piece sequence. You see that line count about 59 lines now to 57 for Hydrant, so catching up a little bit in that regard. But Hydrant's had a couple of pieces hung, so he's going to have to get his board back into sorts. Meanwhile, Cobra is clean. We've got another drought. And we'll see how long this long bar takes to show up. Once again, where is it? It finally shows up, about 34 pieces, but Hydrant's got some pieces hung very high up. Gets the long bar to the left, and now he's going to have to work once again to get things cleaned up. And Cobra kind of cruising at the moment. 277K to 130,000. We're just over 70 lines in. We're all just kind of watching, seeing how Hydrant Dude manages to get out of this. The board is not nearly in the danger it was in before. He's got himself just about all the way down. And is on track to survive this and start getting back into the swing of things. Meanwhile, Cobra's amassed a 10 Tetris lead here, 398,000 to 163,000. We have just passed the turn, a little over 100 lines in. But now Hydrant, after that long-lasting stay in the burn unit, has the board all the way down. It's nice and clean, and he's almost Tetris ready. Gets the Aki bar, now waiting for one more to complete the package and get a Tetris as Hydrant. Cobra also waiting for a long bar. He's going to get one, as is Hydrant. They both throw down a Tetris. Hydrant gonna go for a couple of tucks, has another O tuck set up, but decides to just take the delayed burn on that instead. So after some interesting beginnings and interesting middles as we near the transition, the boards are looking pretty clean here. Cobra with one more Tetris before 19. Hydrant Dude also with one more. But it looks like Cobra is likely going to burn in. Hydrant in at a 304,000. Cobra in at 519. And follows up with the Tetris. So Hydrant has got his board well under control now, but just has not had the opportunity to eat away at this lead from Cobra. It's still hanging around 8 Tetrises. But Hydrant doing everything he can, gets a Tetris. But now he's got a tuck. He misses the S-spin. But his board's still in relatively decent-ish shape. Actually, could be set up. It is set up for a dirty Tetris, but he'll take the burns. Cobra also going for the dirty Tetris. Needs a long bar to show up to make that happen. He's going to get it. Hydrant, actually, no. That was a triple, I think. I thought it was a dirty Tetris. Might have just been a triple. 6,846 for Cobra. 441 for Hydrant. Both players building off the bottom. Hydrant 1 row off. Cobra 2 rows off. But maybe he will decide to go for this dirty in column number 3. Meanwhile, Hydrant throws one down. So now you're starting to see that lead begin to fade away just a little bit for Cobra. It was at one point a 10 Tetris advantage. Now it's under 6, 715 to 530. And Cobra gonna get that one off the bottom. It's a 6.6 Tetris advantage. We're into level 24. Hydrant's working to get this brought back down. He's got a little weight there on column number 7. But just like that, Hydrant has the well open, as does Cobra. They are both now Tetris ready. Cobra and Hydrant both getting the Tetris. But again, Cobra is up by just over 250,000 points. That's now an 8 Tetris lead, so he's managed to add on to it. And only a few Tetris away from a max out is Cobra, but we're in the midst of a drought here. How long is this one going to go? It's well over 20 pieces. It's approaching 30 pieces. Where is that Tetris? Cobra waiting for it. He gets the long bar at about 34 pieces, but can't throw it down for a clear. Meanwhile, Hydrant able to get a Tetris. He's over 700,000, 729 to 922. And we're nearing the kill screen. One more Tetris available for Hydrant. 2 more possibly for Cobra, but he doesn't have any burns in hand. So if he takes a burn, which he does, he goes into the kill screen with the max out. 1.032 million for Cobra. And Hydrant gets a Tetris on kill screen. He's going to need several more of those. In fact, at least 5 Tetrises to get back into this one. 843 for Hydrant, 1.04 for Cobra. We're into level 30. Hydrant's going to miss a T-spin, but the board is still fairly low on his side, but it is beginning to get a little dangerous. We'll see if he can clear his way out of this one. And things looking very troublesome for Hydrant. He eggs a couple pieces, can't get the long bar over. Hydrant Dude is going to top out at 863,000, and Cobra takes game number 1. It's a 1.1 million for Cobra, currently on level 32. 1 Tetris. Thank you, Winter. You understood the assignment. Meme complete. Now, in the first game, we got to know Cobra. let's go ahead and introduce ourselves to Hydrant, who is on the right. Hydrant went to school for and for work is involved in architecture. He's been to his fair share of Tetris tournaments, including CTWC, including Mini D. Believe he's going to be at Detroit this weekend. I thought I saw his name on the list. He can correct me if I'm wrong. And he's no stranger to the online events. Going to go ahead and mention that he and Tristop are the only two to have played in CTM Masters every year since 2019. That is exclusive territory. Hydrant also low-key pretty good at tennis. Played it all the way up until college. Right now, looking a lot better than the start of game one did. Cobra with a Vits setup. And of course, you go for the Vits and a drought shows up. I don't think you'll love to see it, but my goodness, he gets the long bar for the Vits. And then like 2 pieces later, the long bar shows up for a Tetris. Don't you love it when RG just kind of blesses you like that? And now Hydrant says, hey, I'm going to do a Vits too. He gets the long bar. Now watch this. He's going to get one right away, isn't he? What did I tell you? Vits complete Tetris for Hydrant. We're over 40 lines in. They're separated by less than a Tetris. 250. Well, make it 276 for Cobra. 253 for Hydrant. Dude, that's a simultoastress. And for a moment, they were separated by half a burn single. Hey, we're back to half a burn single of separation. You want to call this one neck and neck? You are welcome to call it neck and neck because that's exactly what it is. But halfway to 19, some great projected transition scores here. About a 680 for Cobra. And we're going to say this is about a 700 for a Hydrant, dude. Some big scores potentially on level 19 if they're able to maintain this for the remaining 60 or so lines. As far as the highest ones I've had on my stream, I'm going to find out. I'm going to pull up that number. Largest one I've had was ID Kirby at a 714K about 2 weeks ago on Wars. Otherwise, a 695K would get you in the top 3. Cobra's got a couple of gaps that will need to be resolved. It'll hurt that transition score, but still in relatively good shape. Hydrant's kind of cooking over here. 500,000 at 94 lines. Going to get another Tetris. You know, they usually say you want 400 by 100. At least that's what Ben Mullen told me. And Hydrant says, yeah, I'm going to get 500 by 100. How about that? Unfortunately, getting a lot of S's and Z's, not the pieces you want when you're trying to go for a monster score, and going to have to put some weight on the well here for a little bit. But doing some good solves, as is Cobra, both getting their boards brought down, getting the wells open. Hydrant with the Tetris, 581,000 at 114 lines. Cobra at 551, make it 573, now at 120 lines. So now Cobra down to 2 more Tetrises, has no burns in hand. The moment Cobra takes a burn, he'll lose a Tetris. Hydrant gets 1 more and has 1 more Tetris before 19. but could take burns, but it won't need to. 673 is that transition into 19. Cobra looking at about a 644 if he can get a long bar in time, but he's just going to burn in at 622. And now we've got a race to the kill screen. We've got a race to get a max out as well. Who's going to get those million points first? Who's going to get the million points, period? Because, man, what a drought. About 30, was it 36 pieces I saw there? And both players survive. And Cobra is able to follow up with the Tetris, as is Hydrant. Into level 21 we go. 688,000 for Cobra, 732 for Hydrant. And these two players are humming right along on their path to level 29. Just to look at their games will let you know how good they're playing. You've got a 74% Tetris rate from Cobra. That's good. But then you look at Hydra with 83%, and yeah, they're cooking a little bit over here. Both over 800,000. Cobra looking at potentially, I mean, if he can maintain what he's doing, looking at a 1.2. Hydrant, if he can maintain what he's doing, looking at like a 1.26. Of course, that implies that they're able to continue doing what they've been doing to this point. But unfortunately, Longbar not showing up. 25 plus pieces without a Longbar. Where the heck is it? We're over 35 pieces on this drought and no end in sight. And now over 40. Where is it? It finally shows up 47 pieces later. What is up with these seeds today? We're seeing some brutal, ruthless droughts showing up. But these players are not fazed by it. Hydrant with the max out into level 26. Cobra with the Tetris will get over 900,000. So it's 921K for Cobra, 1.05 for Hydrant. So we're about 20 lines away from the kill screen. Cole in the chat here on Team Hydrant saying, Hydrant, take one. Come on. He's having a great game here. We're entering level 28. 3 more Tetrises available. Make it 2 after those. Both players with the max out. Both players with 1 in case of Hydrant, 2 in the case of Cobra. Tetrises until the kill screen. There's 1 for Cobra. But he's going to burn in with a 1.098. Hydrant trying to hold out with the long bar. He's going to go in with a 1.232. A massive kill screen score for Hydrant. And now into level 30. Hydrant working this board down. Cobra's board is clean. Hydrant's going to need something to the left, and he's going to need it fast, but he's not getting it. Hydrant will top out. Had a great score into kill screen, but tops out on 30. Cobra, your chase down score, 1.29 million. Basically, if you go mini D style, get that D on the screen, you will clinch victory in game number 2. Under 2 Tetrises to make it happen. There is 1 Tetris, so now 24,000 points remaining. That's all Cobra needs to complete the chase down, take the second game. And under 10,000 points to go. If Cobra really wants to, could just burn out on this one. Only needs 1 more single. There it is. Gets the chase down, gets the game 2 victory. And maybe going for a little more. And Cobra gets the Tetris. He wanted the 1.3, and there it is. He's leading 2 games to nothing. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. These two have played I believe, once or twice in the past. Let's take a look at how those games went while we're here. They have, in fact, played twice, both in Classic Tetris League. They met back in Season 29. That was on April 17th of 2025, so a little over a year ago, back in Division 1A. Cobra took that one in a sweep. They met again a few months ago. This was back on February 20th in Season 32 of CTL. And in that one, it was Division 1B, and Cobra took that one 3-0. So Hydrant looking to get off the proverbial schneid here, get a win against Cobra, and look to start that journey to a reverse sweep. And I saw that draw counter light up. I was like, oh no, here we go again. But that one, only 20 pieces. You know, it's a mildly rough day for the seeds when you're giving a sigh of relief at only seeing a 20-piece drought. But these two are hanging pretty close. Hydrant gets a Tetris, 186 to now 166, up by just under a Tetris is Hydrant. And again, he needs this one to keep the match going. And if last game showed you anything, it's, if nothing else, that Hydrant can put together a strong performance and make you sweat it out into the kill screen. But a Tetris for Hydrant. Cobra looking for a J piece, and he's going to get it. Hydrant gets the Tetris, but he'll have to do a little bit of work to get this board back to a Tetris-ready state. And, ooh, they're only separated by 4 points. Someone took the push-down point challenge. It looks like it was Cobra doing his part to avoid a tie as they were that close. And Hydrant's going to get a fairly dirty Tetris. That one 5 rows up. 332K for Hydrant, dude. 349 for Cobra. We're about 70 lines in. Hydrant's still trying to get dug out here. If he can get a couple of burns, he does have a dirty Tetris setup. Cobra throws one down, meanwhile. Now over 400,000 at about 80 lines. And we might see just how dirty this Tetris can be. Hydrant has this large well, 1 row off, gets the dirty, and puts the Akibar in, so Hydrant's committed to the dirty Tetris. 1 row off the bottom, gets another, 395 to 464. Coming up on 100 lines here. And that lead may be ever so slightly bigger than advertised. Cobra about a Tetris behind in the line count. Not significant, but the Tetris rate does not lie. Cobra's lead may be a little bit bigger than what the scoreboard indicates. 88% on that Tetris rate compared to 65 for Hydrant. Now, coming up on transition, Hydrant has two more Tetrises available before 19, and a few burns in hand if necessary. Cobra, not quite up to that point. He's got, well, Well, now 2 more Tetrises. He just decides to burn it down, get that well back over to the right side, and take care of business. So with the Tetris here, Hydrant's going to go into 19 at 560,000. Meanwhile, Cobra still at 123 lines. Going to get a Tetris, and if he's able to get one more here, it's going to be a 607 into 19. Now you just have to see if this long bar shows up. It's taking its time, but the patience is rewarded. Cobra does go in at 607,000. But Hydrant's up a little high here. Does get the long bar, will get the Tetris. Only down by a little over half a Tetris. So we might be entering hot potato lead territory here, as it's close enough that it could go back and forth as long as both players continue to rain down the Tetrises. Now into level 21 and 22 respectively. 718K for Cobra, 704,000 for Hydrant, dude. Board's looking good on both sides. Numbers looking good on both sides. They can keep doing what they're doing. They're both looking at max outs into kill screen. And we're seeing just some good, clean board building here. Both players looking fairly easy going here. I mean, this is why they're in Division 1A at the top of CTL, because their 19 play is just so good. It looks better than your average player's 18 play. And that's also in part due to the power of rolling, but these are just great stackers, great Tetris minds, and both over 900,000. Hydrant with that Tetris does take a slight lead, but Cobra's going to fire right back and reclaim it. And not even a Tetris away from the max out is Cobra. Going to take the burn, get the Tetris, get the max out. They both have the max out. 1.02 to 1.03. Hydrant with the slight lead, but he's also 10 lines ahead. So you could give the edge at the moment to Cobra. And we'll see if that edge ends up manifesting as they approach the kill screen. Hydrant with one more Tetris before 29 would be about a 1.14 into kill screen. And there it is. Cobra with possibly 2 more before 29. He's going to get 1 Tetris. And it would be a 1.2 if he can pull this off. We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, Hydrant sets up for and does get the column 8 Tetris. Cobra holds out, gets the long bars. He's got a 1.2 into kill screen. It's a 1.208. Hydrant takes a couple of really good flat burns. Needs to get that column number 6 opened up. And he does. It's not going to be a Tetris, but that'll allow him to whittle this board on down. As Cobra looks to do the same and try and get Tetris ready and hold off this threat from Hydrant, dude, who's got to get some burns in, and that is going to help out the board a lot. Cobra up by about a Tetris and a half into level 33. 1.3 now for Cobra, 1.241 for Hydrant. Just hasn't been able to get set up for any Tetrises yet. And they're starting to run out of time. There is a long bar. There's a Tetris for Hydrant, dude. 42,000 points at level 34. And he's going to need probably a couple more of those as he's set up for one. Gets another Tetris, only trailing by 18,000 now. Cobra gets a dirty Tetris on 33 into 34. And he's got a 1.4. Only about 40 or so lines until level 39 and that super kill screen. Well, the players may need to strategize accordingly, as this one remains close under a Tetris deficit for Hydrant. They both have a 1.4. If it ends like this, you couldn't ask for a better third game than what you're getting right here. But we're getting droughted. Hydrant holds out, and he's going to top out. Oh my goodness, what a valiant effort from Hydrant, dude. But he holds out for the long bar, and that's when the drought happens. He tops out, and Cobra's going to take it in 3. Cobra trying to get this rollover. Where is the long bar? He gets it, and he's got the rollover on top of it. Gets the 1.6, and still trying to fight for lines, but he's going to top out on level 37. A great game from Cobra. A great game from Hydrant, dude, as well. And, of course, just as I'm about to do this, I was going to put up that Cobra was the winner.
All right, both players are ready. Let's count them down for game number 1. Himself, he's down to 181,000 points as Neko has had a fantastic post. That's it for Guafi. Going to top out at 12-14, and Neko's good for game number 1. Guafi will not quit. He's going to hang the T, though. Oh, doesn't get the square over. That's it. Guafi going to top out at 14-11.